Hey there, all you musical theater maniacs. Welcome back to Broadway by Ghostlight. I'm Mark Benani, and this is episode 12 of Broadway Jeopardy. 3 months down, my goodness. There's 26 all-new clues headed your way, and 5 new categories, including the final Jeopardy round. A new episode of Broadway Jeopardy drops every Thursday starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you're subscribed and you hit that bell so you won't miss an episode. Something brand new to this week's game I'm trying out is having 2 double Jeopardy questions. Now, it's a little different here than in Jeopardy proper. For Broadway Jeopardy, the clues will be in 2 parts. Answer the first part correctly, you get the money for that clue. But if you also answer the second part correctly, you double that clue's money. Make sense? Let me know what you think of the double Jeopardy thing at the end of the game, and I can implement it into future episodes. I'll talk more at the end, but let's get this show on the road, shall we? This is Broadway Jeopardy! Alright, taking a look at this week's categories, we start off as always with last week's final Jeopardy category, which is Broadway debuts, looking at some various theater professionals' first foray onto Broadway. After that, the one and only Patti LuPone gets her own category. Then we have a little number. These are show tune titles with numbers in them. Then we have our first ever audio category, All That Jazz. I'll play you a snippet of an instrumental jazz version of a show tune, and you name the song. And the last category this week is Broadway Barkers, looking at some precious pooches that have starred in musicals throughout the years. We end as always with the final Jeopardy round, which this week features a very, very special guest. You'll have to wait till the end of the episode to find out who that is.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Oh, are we not gonna finish the... There we go. We start off, of course, with the $200 round, the overture round, as we call it here at Broadway Jeopardy, where the answers tend to be pretty easy. In order to help you get some fake cash in hand, before I slowly turn up the difficulty level to a fever pitch. Starting off in the Broadway debuts category, your first $200 clue is, this biblical rock musical was Andrew Lloyd Webber's Broadway debut in 1971. What is Jesus Christ Superstar, of course? The classic rock musical actually opened on Broadway before opening in London's West End. Though it was much more successful in London, the original production there lasting 8 years compared to the original Broadway run's 2 years. Your $200 clue in the Patti LuPone category is, Miss LuPone won acclaim and her first Tony Award for this Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, based on the life of Argentina's famous former First Lady. What is Evita is the correct answer. Miss LuPone's performance with the original Broadway cast on the Tony Awards is an oft-watched clip for me. It's really remarkable. Moving on to the a little number category, the $200 clue is, this iconic ode to working a day job written by Dolly Parton was the opening number to the musical bearing its name. What is 9 to 5? The 2009 musical starred Megan Hilty, Allison Janney, and Stephanie J. Block. Miss Block delivered one of my favorite performances in the song Get Out and Stay Out, which, if there was ever going to be a best song category at the Tonys, it should have been that year for that song.
Get out and stay out. I finally had enough. Don't kiss me on your way out. It wouldn't move me much.
Let's listen up to our first audio clue in the All That Jazz category. Your first clue is this famous opening number. What is All That Jazz from Chicago is the answer. It was right there in the category title. Is All That Jazz the greatest opening number to a musical in history? There's some big contenders out there. Let me know what you think. Let's finish off the overture round in the Broadway Barkers category. Your $200 clue is, this sweet stray pooch finds a swanky new home with Daddy Warbucks and Annie in the musical Annie. Who is Sandy? Yes, because of his sandy color. In my merch days, I did a national tour of Annie for almost a year and a half, and we sold all sorts of different Sandys throughout that time. And parents hated me. I was ruthless selling those dogs to those kids. Oh my God, they hated me.
The best salesman ever.
Well, I hope you all aced that first round. Let's move on to the only slightly harder $400 round now. Circling back to Broadway debuts, the $400 clue is... Hey, our first ever daily double. Remember, if you get the first part of the clue right, you get the $400, and if you get the second part right, you double it to $800. Your daily double clue is... This world-renowned performer made her Broadway debut as Kim in the original cast of Miss Saigon in 1991. For double points, this is the musical film she provided a singing voice for 1 year later. Who is Lea Salonga is the answer to part 1, and Aladdin is the answer for part 2. Miss Salonga was the singing voice for Jasmine in the film. Miss Salonga continues to grace the stage on Broadway, in London, and in her home country of the Philippines. The $400 clue for Miss Lapone's category is... Patti LuPone played the part of Joanne in both the West End and Broadway runs of the gender-bent revival of this groundbreaking musical. What is Company? Miss LuPone has certainly made her stamp on the character of Joanne after years of playing the part in Marianne Elliott's acclaimed production. She also played the role in the New York Philharmonic concert version, which was filmed in 2011.
I'll drink to that.
Up next for a little number, the $400 clue is... We're introduced to our hero Aladdin in this song, where he avoids the palace guards chasing him. What is One Jump Ahead? The iconic song introducing our hero was originally a ballad, Proud of Your Boy, a gorgeous song that thankfully was added back in for the Broadway version.
Someday and soon, I'll make you proud of your boy. So don't look back, 'cause the boy that you knew isn't there anymore.
One Jump Ahead had lyrics by Tim Rice. Rice stepped in after the great Howard Ashman passed away, sadly, in 1981 while working on the film.
One jump ahead of the law, man. That's all, and that's no joke. These guys don't appreciate I'm pro.
Moving on to our audio category, All That Jazz, your $400 clue is this Disney classic. What is Chim Chim Cheree from Mary Poppins is the correct answer. Chim Chim Cheree won the 1964 Academy Award for Best Song, which surprises me a little. Not that it won, it's an amazing song, but more that this was the song that they submitted to the Oscars. I feel like movies always submit the slower ballads, like Feed the Birds or something, which is another gorgeous song. Let's take a bite out of Broadway Barkers and the $400 clue. In this musical, based on the beloved novel, you'll find a dog who serves as a nanny to the Darling family. What is Peter Pan is the correct answer. Nana is the canine caregiver of the Darling family. Nana is a Newfoundland breed of dog, and Nana was based on original author J.M. Barrie's own Newfoundland named Louis. Louis? Sounds like I'm saying Louis with a lisp. The Disney Nana, of course, was always the iconic version, I think, though the geniuses over at Mischief Comedy's Peter Pan Goes Wrong put up a strong case. We kick off the $600 round back at Broadway debuts. Your first clue of the round is, this prolific director and author made his Broadway debut when he created the musical Jelly's Last Jam. He would go on to direct Angels in America and Bring Into Noise, Bring Into Funk, among many others. Who is George C. Wolfe is the correct answer. Mr. Wolfe was the artistic director of the Public Theater from 1993 to 2004, and the acclaimed author and director was awarded the Lifetime Achievement in Theater Award at the 2024 Tony Awards this past spring. No pictures, please, as we head to the Patti LuPone category.
Stop taking pictures right now! Who do you think you are?
Your $600 clue is, in 2017's War Paint, about real-life cosmetic rivals, Miss LuPone played Helena Rubinstein. Her rival, Elizabeth Arden, was played by this Tony-winning actress. Who is Christine Ebersole? War Paint was a fascinating musical about two warring divas set in the world of the commercial makeup scene. To learn more about the real-life events that inspired the musical, you can check out the PBS documentary The Powder and the Glory, which the musical is partially based on. Your $600 clue in the A Little Number category is, the title of this song from Jonathan Larson's Tick Tick Boom is two numbers. The first is the age the main character is turning, the other is the then current year. What is 3090? Yes, the lead character of John is turning 30 at the start of the play in the year 1990. The musical, of course, is semi-autobiographical for author Jonathan Larson. His iconic rent became a Broadway staple for over a decade, but Tick Tick Boom has recently become popular thanks in major part to the Netflix film version starring Andrew Garfield.
Not just another birthday, it's 3090.
The $600 audio clue in the All That Jazz category is this brilliant 1970s show tune. What is Another 100 People is the answer from the musical Company. Another 100 People is one of my personal favorite show tunes and Sondheim songs, really. It so perfectly encapsulates the underlying energy of New York and the loneliness that can occur in this mammoth urban jungle full of strangers.
Okay, now you're just taking lines right out of the song.
Let's fetch the final $600 clue from the Broadway Barkers category. The clue is the other Daily Double. All right, for potentially 1,200 points, the clue is, this is Elle Wood's fashionable doggy in the film and musical Legally Blonde. For double points, his bulldog friend, owned by stylist Paulette, is named this. What is Bruiser, or Bruiser Woods to be exact, is the initial answer, and Paulette's bulldog is named Rufus. On Broadway, the original Rufus was named Chloe, and the original Bruiser was named Chico. And just like all roles in musicals, the doggos had understudies. ZZ was the understudy for Rufus, and Boo Boo was the understudy for Bruiser. All dogs, of course, were trained and lovingly cared for by Bill Berloni and his team, who have rescued and trained most theatrical animals you'll see on stage, starting with the original Sandy and Annie in 1977. All right, my lovelies, it's time to really notch up the difficulty level with the $800 round. But before we do, please, please, please hit that like button if you're enjoying this week's episode. It takes just a second from you, but it goes so far in helping these videos reach more fine folks like yourselves, and lets me know that you enjoy it and want more. Thanks everyone, I really appreciate it. Alrighty, back at Broadway debuts, your first $800 clue is, lovable Lucille Ball made her Broadway debut in this flop musical, where she sang the song Hey Look Me Over. What is Wildcat is the answer. Just like her famous TV counterpart, Lucy had never made it onto the legitimate stage. During her divorce to Desi Arnaz, getting out of Hollywood to go to New York and make your debut in a Cy Coleman musical sounded like a good bet. But it wasn't quite meant to be. Lucy got bored of the 8-show-a-week grind and basically decided to close the show. I have a whole breakdown of Wildcat and all the drama on and off stage. I'll put a link at the end of this video for you to go watch that one next.
You gotta say, hey, look me over, lend me an ear. Fresh out of clover, mortgage up to here.
The diva of all divas, Patti LuPone's $800 clue is... This is the 2010 musical based on the Pedro Almodovar film of the same name, where Miss LuPone's character, Lucia, sings the song Invisible. What is Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown? Miss LuPone played the blonde-haired, gun-wielding Lucia and was a highlight of the show for sure.
I should just fire her.
Two.
That maid.
That's not the maid. That's Marissa, my fiancée.
I think you're wrong.
Let's take in a little number. Your $800 clue is... In Rodgers and Hammerstein's Flower Drum Song, upon arriving in America, Chinese immigrant Mei Li sings this beautiful song about the wonders she sees each day. What is 100 Million Miracles? This song has had different placements and circumstances from production to production. In the original 1958 production, it's the second number in the show, sung by Mei Li as her and her father are taken to meet the father of a boy Mei Li is hoping to marry. In the 61 film version, the song opens the movie as Mei Li performs the song in public to earn some money. And in the radically revised 2002 revival, the number again opens the show as Mei Li flees communist China after the death of her father. Crazy how such a beautiful song can just fit in so many different scenarios. Musical theater.
100 media miracles. 100 media miracles are happening every day.
Over at the All That Jazz category, your $800 audio clue is this power ballad. What is This Is the Moment from Jekyll and Hyde is the correct answer. The popular power ballad has been recorded by many artists in several different languages. A version of the song in Czech, no less, appeared on the debut album for the Four Tenors and went gold and platinum. Finishing off the $800 round with the adorable Broadway Barkers, your clue is, in Rent, Angel Dumont Chenard sings the song Today for You, recounting how $1,000 was offered to snuff out a dog named this. What is Evita is the correct answer.
This Akita, Evita, just won't shut up.
The Akita named Evita was driven to unaliving itself after Angel played on their bucket drums until the tiny pooch couldn't take it anymore and jumped. We have reached the big show, the main event. It's the $1,000 round. Cue that dramatic music. Good luck, players. Your first $1,000 clue comes from Broadway debuts. It's the legendary Liza Minnelli made her Broadway debut at age 19 in this 1965 musical, the first from the team of Candor and Ebb. What is Flora the Red Menace? Though Miss Minnelli triumphed in the role, earning her a Tony for Best Actress, the musical was not originally written for her. Early versions had Barbra Streisand in mind, as well as Edie Gourmet. I always love to think of alternate casting and what that could have led to. Our final clue for the incomparable Miss Lapone is, when Patti LuPone wasn't transferred to Broadway with the original production of Sunset Boulevard, she sued Andrew Lloyd Webber. She was awarded $1 million and famously purchased this with the money. What is a swimming pool? I hope you got that one. If not, don't feel bad. It's I guess a bit of an obscure story. It's a long and fascinating tale that I can't fully get into here, but yes, after creating the role of Norma Desmond in the London Sunset Boulevard, Glenn Close was then selected to bring the show to Broadway. Patti sued and Webber paid her $1 million, which she used to install a pool in her Connecticut home, which she not so lovingly named the Andrew Lloyd Webber Memorial Swimming Pool. God love her. Your $1,000 clue in the a little number category is, in Michael Bennett's Ballroom, lonely widow B strikes up a new relationship with Al, who's still married. But B sings she'd rather have this than nothing at all. What is 50% is the answer. A beautiful, but I think a bit of a sad song in the 1978 musical that was originally sung by the great Dorothy Loudon.
So I don't share his name, so I don't wear his ring, so there's no piece of paper saying that he's mine, so we don't have the memories. I have enough memories. I've washed enough mornings, I've dried enough evenings, I've had enough birthdays to know what I want.
Your final audio clue in the All That Jazz category for $1,000 is the song Here. What is Master of the House from Les Miserables? What did you guys think of the audio clues? Let me know in the comments. The final clue for the main game is in the Broadway Barkers category. The $1,000 clue is, Madame Rose runs her daughters ragged on the vaudeville circuits in the musical Gypsy, but they're not the only ones. She also travels with this pup named after Rose's favorite food. Who is Chowsy? He's named Chowsy because chow mein is Rose's favorite food, which is made a few times in the musical, actually.
Will you just hold Chowsy for me? That's short for chow mein. Mommy just loves chow mein, doesn't she, Chowsy? Louise, stop sucking your thumb. Professor!
We've made it to the final Jeopardy round. Tally up your scores and decide how confident you feel in the much asked for category, Schmigadoon. Looking at the greatest love letter to musical theater ever to grace our television screens. Make your wagers, bet it all, go for the glory, or play it safe. It's really up to you. Is everyone ready? Tom? Christopher? Ed? Vatican? You guys good? All right, here is your final clue, introduced by our very special guest, Cinco Paul himself, the Schmiga man with the plan and creator of Schmigadoon. Take it away, Cinco.
In season 2 of Schmigadoon, murderess Dooley Blight and his accomplice Miss Codwell plan on turning these into good enough to eat sausages.
What are orphans is the correct answer. In an absolutely hilarious hypothetical, what if Sweeney Todd got together with Miss Hannigan? Dooley Blight and Miss Codwell, played to perfection by Alan Cumming and Kristen Chenoweth respectively, plan on solving Dooley's lack of meat and Miss Codwell's abundance of orphans with one gory solution. It all comes together in the brilliant song Good Enough to Eat.
Before these darlings get much thinner, I think we ought to make them dinner. Ooh, they're good enough to eat.
And that was this week's game, my friends. How did you all do? Have you all got plenty of nothing? Or are you a poor little millionaire? Be sure to let me know your score in the comments. I love hearing from you guys and seeing how you did. A special, huge thank you to Cinco Paul for joining the game this week. The Schmigadoon category and Cinco will be back next week. So if you don't know the TV show, now is your time to watch it. You won't be sorry. Or at least you can check out my extensive breakdowns of every episode of Schmigadoon here on the channel. If you enjoy this weekly game and want them to continue, please consider sharing this video on your social media with friends and family. It really helps a lot. The videos aren't quite growing as much as I would like them to, and I just want your help into having these reach as many people as possible. And of course, making sure you're subscribed and hitting the like button also helps too a lot. A massive help is the patrons over on Patreon, not only in supporting me and the channel so I can keep producing these videos, but also in their help suggesting categories. The Broadway debut category this week was from super patron Ryan James D. If you want to check out the Patreon and maybe support me further, there is a link in the video description. You can follow me on the socials at Ghostlight and come chat musicals with me there. I do a fun poll. Right now we're doing male solos. But until next week, I'm Mark Benani. This is Broadway by Ghostlight. Thanks for playing.